This is Chapter 5, Planning Projects, Part 2, Presentation Number 1. These are our learning objectives. This is what we're going to cover in this presentation. And the next presentation. Don't forget to download the presentation notes and fill in those blanks. Just to give a big picture overview, this is from page 8. Remember our overall chart. And today we're going to look at these 6 in these 2 presentations. We're going to look at quality, human resource management, and communication management in this presentation. And these are our key knowledge areas, our planning processes, and our outputs. Let's start by looking at our quality management plan. Quality is identifying which quality standards are relevant to the project and how best to satisfy those standards. Notice that I'm on page 180 of the book if you want to follow along. Quality planning includes identifying which quality standards are relevant to the project and how best to satisfy those standards. It involves designing quality into the products of the project as well as the processes involved in managing the project. Like other plans, the size and complexity of the quality management plan varies to meet the project needs. So what is quality? Well, quality is not something you guess at. Quality is actually very carefully defined by ISO 9000. Other experts define quality based on conformance to requirements and fitness for use. Ultimately, the customer decides the quality level to be accepted. What are the tasks involved? Project quality management is to satisfy the stated or implied needs of the quality in the project. Key outputs of the project quality management plan. Now, we used a word here that we need to define carefully. Let's talk about quality metrics. A metric is a standard of measure. In other words, it's one of those things that we have to be able to quantify. Metrics allow organizations to measure their performance in certain areas and to compare them over time with other organizations or other projects. One of the other things that is nice about this is the use of the web and the dashboard system. This gives you a quality metric measurement at a glance. Here's a sample checklist from page 185 of your book. One of the keys to good quality management is good resource management planning. That's when and how people will be added to and removed from the project in order to accomplish the project. It's also called a staffing plan, and a staffing management plan describes when and how people will be added to and removed from a project. So the plan must include the types of people, the numbers of people, how those resources will be acquired, trained, and rewarded. That's a big deal, that rewarding, and then reassigned after the project is finished. People determine the success or failure of the organization and the project itself. Project human resource management is concerned with making effective use of people involved in the project. We do this with a project organizational chart, a responsibility assignment matrix, a resource histogram, and a staffing management plan. We'll talk about more of the tools available to you as a project manager in Chapter 6. Let's just cover 2 of these human resource management planning tools. The first one would be a responsibility assignment matrix, or RAM. That basically says this is what the work of the project is and who's responsible for it. The main tool in that is called a RACI chart. It's a type of RAM, and RACI means responsibility, accountability, consultation, and informed. These are jobs that people do. So someone is responsible, someone is accountable, who signs off on it, someone is involved in the consultation in the project, and someone just needs to be informed of what's going on. This is a sample RACI chart from page 188 of your book. Let's just take an example. Let's take the course development. So supplier A is actually going to be responsible for development. Jamie and Mohammed are going to be consulted. They may help with the development, but Kristen is going to be signing off. She's the one that's actually going to inspect to make sure the quality is there and that everything has been done according to the plan. Communication management plan is extremely important. What we're doing is generating, collecting, disseminating, and storing project information. Many experts agree that communication is the big deal. Notice that it involves about 90% of the job of a project manager. I love this little video.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät und das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
I think that it just epitomizes communication. What we think we communicate, we don't necessarily communicate. But because the project communication plan is so important, every project, not just whether it needs it or not, but every project should have a communication management plan. If you see page 193 and 194 of your book, you'll see a sample. We'll continue this section next week. I love this picture. This is actually a company in Canada.